My neuropsychology report says that my ability to estimate the length of 1 minute is in the low average, or in other words, my brain works so fast that everything else is in slow motion. Mere mortals cannot even comprehend the speed at which my brain functions. Hello Redditors of the internet, Noble Xenon here, and welcome to r/IAmVerySmart, part 14. Let's get started. So, this next intellectual warns us that Dune is not for the shallow, small-minded, or impatient. Dune is not for the small-minded. It takes a genius to understand many of the concepts it harbors. It entails politics, cartels, religious manipulation and oppression, space travel, psychedelics, overwhelming mind power, functional industrial genetic mutation, and the inability to spell the word entails. It's a good look onto the ruling class as well as the working class. The complexity and the nuances make the book amazing, however, that also makes translating it into film difficult, if not impossible. Again, Dune is not for the shallow, small-minded, or impatient. Thank you, oh gatekeeper of books. And now a kid I used to go to school with who always brags about his IQ is now bragging about this. That moment when you're bored so you friggin' learn the entire periodic table. Someone tell these people that there's a lot more to knowledge than memorization. And now I simply cannot hold a conversation with a lesser than from a lowly school. Is dating like this for other people at Berkeley? So for context, we all know the Bay Area has a high density of overeducated people in it. I used to not care what college someone went to as long as they went to college before talking to them. However, I've found I just can't hold a conversation with a lot of people who went to less selective schools. Outside of their job and their one or two hobbies, they just don't seem to care about anything else. Sure, I'm down to learn more about what you do, but I can really only talk to you about immunotherapy research for a few days without wanting to switch to something else. If I try to talk about other interests or even a layman version of what I do, I get the equivalent of a blank stare in text form. None of my friends from Cal have this issue, and if I talk to girls from here or a more selective school, I find I have a lot more to talk about. Go on, you sapiosexual. No need to tell me how elitist this sounds. I'm just finding myself on an app thinking this person looks interesting, but she went to UC Irvine or UCSD? It's not gonna be fun talking to them and feeling crappy for judging their intelligence so fast. I was just wondering if anyone else had the same experience, or is this a shallow perception of people? I think we all know the real answer to that one, so moving on. And now we have the biggest brain around. Watch out, I'm just having a regular conversation in my third language no less, and you think I'm trying to sound smart. Oh, you poor thing. You just really made yourself look a little dumb there. That wasn't me. You did that all by yourself. Should I perchance enhance my vernacular? Appropriate my verbiage? Jesus Christ, bud, go read a book. As for who I am as a person, well, luckily for me, that's not up to you, and reality continues to parade me around and give me laurels and accolades for my actions at every turn. Oh, this dude thinks he's Julius Caesar or something, parading around with laurels and shit. That probably upsets you greatly, but as Republicans would say, life ain't fair. This next one is smarter than the majority of humanity because they don't have sex. Because the majority of the 7 billion people don't care for understanding the universe, through math in this case, and care about primal instincts like sex, food, and money more. Yeah, as I said, I have a great passion for not starving. They are on a lower level of Maslow hierarchy. If at least 20% of people really cared about science, we'd be on Mars and Titan already. This dude has no idea how the hierarchy of needs works. At all. Oh, here we go again with the intellectuals of Quora, a former software engineer at Autodesk from 1987 to 2017. That's some company loyalty right there. What is it like to have an IQ of 160? My psychotherapist talked me into taking the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. It took about 5 hours and I got one answer wrong, just one in the entire 5 hours. She couldn't give me an exact number for my IQ because I was, in her words, off the scale. She estimated it to be about 179. She also mentioned that I functioned quite well socially. Apparently most people with extremely high IQs don't. So what's it like? I don't really think about it much. I'm just me, and since I always have been me, I don't know any different. Some things are very easy for me and other things I struggle with, just like everybody else. I have a very hard time doing things I'm not interested in, while at the same time I enjoy doing mundane tasks like mowing the lawn because it frees my mind to think. I read all the time. I'm almost never bored. I don't regard other people as stupid, and I don't feel the need to prove how smart I am, except when watching Jeopardy, of course. What it comes down to is that I'm really good at reasoning and have a really good memory. It's fun when I can occasionally make someone's jaw drop because I know some random fact or figure out some hard problem. Other than that, my life's pretty normal. Honestly, this one doesn't sound anywhere near as braggy as the other ones. Just a pretty normal answer, I think. And now I received that response in a comment on Instagram. I'm not even a native English speaker. Men is the plural form of man. By putting a before the word, you made a statement that would apply to the singular use of the word. You are less intelligent, therefore you are inferior, and your opinion doesn't matter. Or English isn't their native language and they're still learning. Relax. Hey, if you're enjoying this, then why not hit that like button? If you want to see more, subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and comment if you have something on your mind. For this next one, everybody in school is just a narcissistic idiot. My potential to be smarter than those my age? Yes, my fellow schoolmates now, like 6 years later, are either as smart as me or just plain stupid. One girl I know tried to pull the "we were young and stupid" line when I brought up that she told me to end myself in the 5th grade. How much dumber can you get? Well, as it appears as of now, a lot. My school is populated by narcissistic idiots. And now we go to the YouTube comment section on a video of Markiplier beating 420 mode. Nice. OP, I am sorry if fictional business does not find tampering with property impressive. Also, who the hell said this was impossible? I beat it around 5 years ago with ease. If you find this impossible, you have low standards. Before some Reddit lord comes in defending the quote joke, what makes this funny? Think about it. You're laughing because it's a joke, not because of its meaning. Do you really think the company cares? How would they know it's difficult? You must really be the life of the party, huh? For this next one, you're asking a question that you wouldn't understand the answer to. What's the difference between an i9 and an i7? A silly question to ask. The variance between the worst and best of i9s and i7s is so large that you can't compare the entire generation of chips. Kind of like asking the difference between 2 gens of a car, but not being a car person, so not being able to understand non-aesthetic features. Like, the only thing I can tell you that you'd understand is i9 is better than i7, but you already know that, so you're asking a question you won't be able to understand the answer to, so why would you even bother asking such a question? And now the intellectuals have made themselves a community on Discord, Intellectualist. The exercise of the intellect. Excessive emphasis on abstract or intellectual matters, especially with a lack of proper consideration for emotions. Philosophy. Me big brain, so me join Big Brain Discord. And now we got a kid who tries so hard to convince him that he can read at astronomical speeds. Stranger, same period, and the book was 700 pages. LOL, it's not possible to read a 700-page book in 30 minutes. Not if you're me. Or did you have to read a certain number of pages? I love reading. So, I read about 8 books a day. And how many words per page? Actually, just tell me the name of the book. Hold on, let me get all the books. All the books? I just want to know the one. Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel and all the Harry Potter books. Okay, so what book did you have to read that class period and then write 500 words about? ? Also, all the Twilight books too. Which one is the 700-page one exactly that you supposedly read all of in 30 minutes? We all got to pick our own book, so I got the new book. There are 1,184 pages of it, and you read the entire book in 30 minutes and then summed up all those pages in only 500 words, all in one class period? Hold on, I don't believe my eyes right now. Well, don't, but my parents are shocked too, even my teacher. I'd like you to say I read 1,138 pages of a Stephen King novel in 30 minutes. Let's just say I am their favorite after all. Let's do some math here. I hate math. I only like reading. You read 1,138 pages in 30 minutes? Yeah, and? That means you read 38 pages a minute. I'm sorry, but you sound like my teacher. I don't like this anymore. Just hear me out, please. Okay, give me a minute. There are about 500 words per page on that book. Would you say that's about right? For one page, I would say there's about 499. I thought you hated math. Great, that means you can read roughly 20,000 words a minute. That's almost faster than the fastest reader in the world, LMFAO. Yeah, when I was in grade 2, my parents took me to my doctors because I was reading too fast for them. They could not understand a work I was saying. If you're gonna brag about something like your reading speed, then at least make it a realistic speed. That's like saying you can run as fast as Usain Bolt. For this next one, look at all these plebs enjoying their baby food culture. Trying to be more positive, but recently I was on a long plane ride and almost every normal-looking adult was watching like Black Widow or Jungle Cruise as their in-flight entertainment. Baby food culture, all of it. By the way, they weren't even watching with their kids. They were watching it very, very specifically alone and for themselves. A 40-year-old watching Jungle Cruise or Cruella. This used to be considered embarrassing. If on a plane I was forced to either endure your feature film or sit next to you while you whined about what other people are watching, I'd start a fire in the lavatory so the air marshals would arrest me. Well, damn, you destroyed them. And Spin81 comments, that's nice that the person is looking to stimulate their brain, but I find travel exhausting enough as it is. I'd rather watch Scarlett Johansson jump around and beat people up than read friggin' Nietzsche or some shit while packed in a can like a sardine wearing a face mask the whole time. Exactly, we're all stressed out, we're just trying to relax. Rest our brains for the next intellectual activity. For this next one, my therapist said so. I really am insanely intelligent. This is a fever dream. People are jealous of me because I really am special. Not many people are like me. That's what my therapists keep trying to tell me. And then this person will probably come back with an IQ test of 173 or some shit. This next one's words are intimidating. His verbiage will make you tremble. You must be fun at parties. You must be an insipid mouth breather rehashing the same trite cliches at parties. r/IAmVerySmart. If you read a book occasionally, you wouldn't find 3-syllable words so intimidating. Yep, you figured it out. Your advanced vocabulary intimidates me, lol. I am just quivering in fear of your vocabulary. This next one had a 4.4 GPA in high school, and that's why he's kind of appalled if someone likes 2.5 Men. I just don't like it. Roseanne was incredibly unfunny to me. I don't intentionally dislike popular shows, it just seems that things that are mass consumed with glee by the average American are usually very unappealing to me. But I also earn higher, always tested higher, free ride to college for pulling off a 4.4 GPA in high school without really trying while playing sports year-round, and have traveled a lot of the globe without posting any pictures on social media, etc. It's funny, because I believe myself to be more intelligent than almost everyone I meet. It's funny how angry this statement makes people. Is it better if I say I think I'm just as intelligent as the average person, or less intelligent? And I believe this carries over to humor. You should never really be proud of liking something that is mass consumed. These shows are designed with lots of peer studies, all kinds of research, so much more goes into it to appeal to exactly the average person. I'm always kind of appalled when someone I know tells me they love The Big Bang Theory or 2.5 Men. I've found that a large majority of the time people who like those shows never read growing up. Oh, okay, I get it. You're a narcissist. That makes sense. I read a ton growing up, still enjoy reading. Peace. So you think it's impossible for people to both like getting entertained by TV shows and reading, huh? But wait, it continues. I probably am, but my question about intelligence, should I say I am at the same intelligence level or below average intelligence compared to the average person instead of saying I'm more intelligent? No one ever really has a good answer for that. Just don't say anything at all is a pathetic response I've heard a few times. And good for you for reading. I still enjoy it as well. You are in the minority for sure. I just can't see how a human brain can find the Sheldon character funny. Watching him the few minutes I have gives me secondhand embarrassment. And remember, I hate that show, but I could watch it with someone and explain each time they laugh why it was funny to them. Most people who see Tim and Eric or Eric Andre truly do not see how or why it is funny, because it is not laugh track humor. You have to understand what they are referencing, which is really easy, but not for people for whom it's not easy. And the reply: I found that the most intelligent people don't bring up their intelligence at all. The people who do are more often than not liars and have a very inflated sense of self. You don't need to brag about your intelligence. People will know if you're intelligent or not. And now the marketplace of ideas is a buyer's market. The comedy of my streaming career is that I've always been 100% correct in every debate, but my opponents and their audiences are literally, this is not a joke by the way, too stupid to understand what I say. Literally way more hilarious than any of the shit I tweet, right? Listen. You're not owning people with facts and logic here. You're just probably not good at communicating big topics to average people, which is a huge part of intelligence in my opinion. And now Mr. Exceptional Brain over here doesn't understand why everyone is so dumb. Having to pass No Child Left Behind now. That I had to have geometry. What a fallacy. I blew past geometry right into Algebra 2 and then into trigonometry and then college algebra. I never use algebra after school. That's not really much to brag about, honestly. And now this individual is far too smart for Hulu's show Dollface. I just got done with about an hour and a half nap before that I read for 8 hours. This is why I'm smarter than just about everyone around me, because you all like this garbage. I watched Black Lotus this week. That was the first time I turned on my TV last week, and it'll be the first time I turn on this week for the same program next week. Moral of the story, manage what you consume, or what you consume will consume you. Oh, the ever-continuing cycle of consumption. And this next one thought everyone's brain was like that. What, really? My brain is a multimedia collage, music, pictures, animation, and text, calculations, dialogue, remembered smells and tastes, and there's ongoing internal discussion of several analytical viewpoints debating things constantly. I thought everyone's brain was like this. Well, I guess not. For this next one, only a true intellectual wouldn't read Tolkien. 5 stars, a most excellent read. I highly recommend this for the erudite, the intelligentsia, the intellectuals of society. As of late, I have grown rather bored of reading my usual Descartes and Shakespeare. I attempted one of those modern novels, John Ronald Reuel Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. You can imagine my disgust when I found it to be nothing short of an iniquitous publication, permeating with blasphemes and hideous subhuman creations, who are suggested to be superior to our own human race. I was distressed. I had no reading material, but eureka! I had it. Instead of reading modern literature, I would read antique literature, the classics. As I searched my personal library, I came across Sophocles' Antigone. It was nothing short of epic. Antigone is for those who enjoy the characters and tragedies of Homer, but dismay at the battles and romance of the very same author. I beseech you all to disregard the many critical reviews of this opus, as one may find they are nothing but tomfools and children. Once more, I highly recommend Sophocles' Antigone to all who have a brain capable of enjoying its pages. My appreciations for reading my review. I remain the Right Honourable Ludolph Caxton, Viscount Caxton, Order of Merit. Lord have mercy, I had way too much fun reading that one. But alas, we must go back to the modern times, as this guy on Facebook is full of smart and never wrong. You can actually never really know unless you were there, otherwise you're trying to interpret, and it gets cut off, false! This is understood simply by comprehending basic judicial practices, let alone anthropological studies of physical evidence, by way of the mathematical process of elimination and the proper implication of the HIR method in conjunction with the ancient sacrament provides all the proof necessary to eliminate any need for belief. Just as I can prove that a man was in a certain place at a certain time using DNA and element tracing in conjunction with eyewitness accounts of the same can be done for any aspect of history. This is basic stuff, my man. Just some basic anthropological studying. For this next one, his profile was completely blank too. Honestly, my comments are often made as I have a brilliant mind that can make sense of half a decade of research, often from different disciplines that I also studied, into a one or a few sentences. To make my comment make sense to people through citing will take me 70 years for a person of above average intellect. I thus end up saying, trust me bro, I'm a molecular biologist and have studied everything from physics to astrophysics through all kinds of disciplines incorporated in my degree, because I don't get paid to educate people online. And 44 laughing reactions off that one. Watch out, people of Discord, this intellectual is smarter than all of us. Get smarter. I will when you guys start getting on my intellectual level. I don't currently need to, since I am significantly above you. Ooh, look at this intellectual, above all of us. And finally, Anon is too smart for his own good. What other way to end it than 4chan? Hey B, I have a problem. My IQ is the 99.99th percentile of high intelligence. If you put me in a room with 999 other people, one of them might be smarter than me. Might. I can party, go to bars, be friendly. I have lots of friends. I've had lovers and girlfriends and hang out with people all the time and deal with the public. I'm well-to-do, with a sizable net worth, but I'm lonely. I have to dumb everything down for everyone I meet, and when it comes to loneliness, I just don't know what to do. What would you do in my situation? Unfortunately, the post cap statistically implies that no replies will be from someone of my intellectual echelon, but I still value your input. Hit me. And another 4chaner simply replies, reddit.com. Nah, send him to Quora. Anyway, I'd like to thank all of my patrons, especially Catalan Cormetti, a jury of jubilantly juggling Jerry's Bacon Cat, Spoonie the Rogue, and Benjamins. You can join in a link below, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. If you have something interesting to say, don't forget to comment. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. See you guys next time.